So you want to see how I'm going to make money blogging this year, huh? Well, congratulations, you are in the right place. That is exactly what we are going to be talking about in this episode. I've been blogging since about 2015, and to be honest, a lot of stuff has changed since then. And really, a lot of stuff has changed with blogging even since last year. But we're going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to peel back the onion. We're going to dive deep. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing this year in order to make the most amount of money from my passive income blogs. Let's discuss. And welcome to episode 54 of the Blogger Evolution. My name is Chris, and here we talk about building passive income streams that work for you so you don't have to. Glad to have you here this week. I'm going to reveal a little secret to you, so be sure to come close. All right, are you ready? I am a sucker for a good Marvel movie. Okay, and they just had the Comic-Con over in San Diego where they showed a whole bunch of trailers for movies that aren't going to be coming out for another couple of years, and those trailers aren't even available to the public yet, right? But thank goodness for cell phones, all right? Everyone had a cell phone there. They were sitting there recording as much of it as they possibly could. So I may or may not have spent the last 2 hours on YouTube trying to piece together this grainy Zapruder-like film, trying to get a complete picture of what these new movies are going to be. And not even just the movies, just the trailers, all right? So anyway, don't be like me and waste the last 2 hours coming up with just some trailers for movies. Actually do something constructive with your time. And one thing I definitely recommend is to check out my free passive income training over at bloggerevolution.com/workshop. That's bloggerevolution.com/workshop. There I have a free training that literally shows you exactly how I went from having absolutely nothing to having a full-fledged running business online that was making enough money for me to quit my job in about 12 to 18 months. So I definitely recommend you go check it out. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description. So let's go ahead and jump into the three strategies, I should say, that I'm going to be employing this year to make sure that my passive income websites make the most amount of money possible. So let's go ahead and dive in. So number one, the first strategy I'm going to be using is what I like to call lead them to gold. Okay, lead them to gold. Now, back before May of 2016, I didn't know I was going to be a dad. Had no clue, didn't really know. It was just me and my wife, and that's just the way life was at the time. But there was a commercial that I used to always see all the time, whether I'm watching YouTube or watching TV or whatever, and it was called ABC Mouse. So if you're familiar with ABC Mouse, you've probably heard of what it does. It's just a simple training program for kids to teach them how to read, to show them shapes and learn their numbers and simple arithmetic and all of this fun stuff. But I used to see this commercial all the time, like ridiculous amount of times, to the point to where I pretty much had it memorized. All of the kids, I knew what they looked like. It was just crazy, right? But I had no interest in it whatsoever. It was just whatever I was watching on TV, for whatever reason, they thought I was a perfect match for that commercial. But at the time, I couldn't care less about it. Now, after May 2016, something really, really big changed for me. We found out that we were pregnant, and that literally changed everything literally overnight. Now, all of a sudden, that same commercial that I used to ignore all the time, I was hanging on every single word. And why? It's because my circumstances changed. And that's the same for our website visitors on our blogs. They're interested in the overall subject, perhaps. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on your site to begin with. But they may not be interested in everything that we have to offer at that particular time. But that doesn't mean that their circumstances couldn't change. This is only going to work, though, if you're able to talk to people over and over and over again. So one thing that I definitely recommend that you should do is to start capturing email addresses. And regardless of where they are in their timeline of wanting to buy something in that space, if you capture their email address, you can help them down the line. There's a thing out there that's called the customer buying cycle. It's basically going from an awareness that you have a problem, doing research on particular products that can solve that problem, and then actually becoming a buyer of that product. And once you can catch somebody in the right place on that customer buying cycle, you can usually make some money. Usually I like to once I capture the email address, is to pitch to them a product that's a little more higher paying than something that you might find on Amazon or whatever. I like to find digital products that you can promote, digital courses, coaching programs, anything like that that's going to help someone further involve themselves in their niche. But the beauty here is that even if they don't buy, you have them on your email list so that you can continue to market to them in the future, meaning you can lead them to the goal. You can lead them down that customer buying cycle and hopefully get to the point to where at some point in the future, they will be interested in purchasing something off of you, which means you would get a commission from the sale. That's why when it comes to blogging and affiliate marketing and everything that we're doing, it stacks over time because you just have more and more people that you can market to. Recently, I had one person actually buy my training course for blogging called Blog Builder Pro. They have been on my email list for about 3 years. Think about it, 3 years. I never even knew that they were really paying attention to any of my emails, but just recently they bought. And interestingly enough, what they told me afterward was, Chris, I've been following you for years, and I'm finally in a position to where I can invest. You never know where people are or where they're going to be, but continuing to make good content on your blog, capturing email addresses, and then cultivating that list, you can help people lead them to gold, keep them on that customer buying cycle to the point to where they're finally going to invest with you. So that's going to be my first thing, is I'm going to be leading people to gold. The next thing is I'm going to be doing, the next strategy, I should say, is applying the 80-20 approach. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure you've heard of the 80-20 rule. Now, the 80-20 rule is, I believe, 20% of the work leads to 80% of the results, but this is going to be a little different. The 80-20 rule here is I'm going to be doing 80% informational content and 20% affiliate content. You see, back in 2015, I was 100% affiliate content all the way, but that's what was working back then. Nowadays, informational content is what's killing it. And there's a few reasons for that. But just to be clear, let's be clear as to what an affiliate article might be. That would be something like the best golf clubs for seniors, the best mountain bike for tall people. But I'm only going to be targeting those phrases 20% of the time. So in the landscape of blogging nowadays, going for more informational stuff is the safer play. And it's also less competitive as well. Plus, there's almost an infinite number of articles you can write that happens to be about the information. Now, I'm not saying that affiliate marketing is dying. I'm not saying that it's really going anywhere, but a big part of my revenue, in fact, still comes from affiliate marketing, but I'm not going to be focusing as much on it as I will be trying to funnel people to that particular place using my the previous strategy, lead them to gold. So it's going to be being a little bit more intentional in the information I'm going to be informational articles I'm going to be writing, but regardless, I'm going to be creating more informational posts than affiliate posts. Now, we talked about what affiliate post is, but an informational post would be something a little different. A common example of this would be something of the nature of, let's say you have a bowling site and you might ask a question, why are bowling pins white? That's an informational post that a lot of people are going to be asking, and hopefully you can rank number one for that particular phrase. Or maybe can you use any shoes as bowling shoes? That's a good question. Someone who is probably just getting into bowling would normally have that question. At which point, create content on it, and hopefully you can rank number one. Now, this type of keyword that we were just speaking of has more people looking for it than the affiliate side of things. But the only people who would land on those types of articles are people who will be interested in bowling shoes or people who will be interested in bowling in general, which means we should be able to promote something to them. They might convert at a lower rate, but they would still convert enough to where it will make it a legitimate reason to continue marketing to them in the future, especially if you were to capture their email addresses. So how many times do you have like a random question and you just go to Google to answer that question, right? I mean, that happens to me, daily, a few times daily, to be honest. For example, just recently in the previous episode of the Blogger Revolution, I think episode 53, I talked about how I was trying to figure out the episode of the Asian gym episode, right? So which episode of The Office talked about Asian gym? And I just Googled it. That's exactly what I Googled. And Lo and behold, the first thing that I found was a blog, right? And it told me it's season 9, episode 3 of The Office. Go look it up. And when I did that, that's exactly what I was looking for. But the thing is, how do you monetize straight informational content? Well, you would normally do this primarily through display ads. Display ads are the little advertisements that pop up in between the articles, that are on the sidebar, the videos that pop, all of those things. Monetizing through display ads is a great way to earn a passive income because you're going to get paid whether people click on your affiliate links or not. Some great places to use to get display ads for your website would be like Ezoic, Mediavine, Monumetric, and even AdThrive. Those are probably some of the more popular ones that are out there. There's tons of them, but those are the ones that I definitely recommend. If you have under I believe 10,000. No, actually, if you have under 50,000 page views, I definitely recommend going with Ezoic. It's a great way to monetize your site. But with that in mind, let's now go into my third strategy I'm going to be employing this year, and that is creating hybrid content. Now, the one thing that I want to have you avoid is creating your blog the normal, traditional way. As things are changing, we need to change as well. Sometimes people would say, oh, I need to make 100% informational content for my blog. Some other people might say I need to make 100% affiliate content for my blog. But there is a way to kind of mesh the two. Now, granted, when we are making informational content, there's a great possibility that it has no affiliate product attached to it at all. But if we were to naturally reference a product within that post, what's to stop us from including a simple affiliate link for someone to click on and go buy? Again, going back to that customer buying cycle, someone might have a question such as, how do I clean a bowling ball? Right? We were talking about bowling earlier. Let's stay on that train. The only person who would land on that particular blog post is somebody who's interested in bowling balls and interested in cleaning supplies to clean their bowling ball. So there's nothing to stop us from finding a product on Amazon that we can then include in there and say, by the way, click here to go check out the cleaning supplies that I use for when I'm cleaning my bowling ball. And even if we use another example, such as how to fix a bike chain, a person who would land on that would be interested in bikes and other bike-related products, possibly bike chains. Someone wouldn't Google that phrase unless they probably popped a bike chain, which means they're probably in the neighborhood of wanting to buy another one. So all we need to do is include a simple affiliate link saying, click here to go check out the bike chains that are on Amazon or something like that. You can even get a little bit more interesting with it and include an entire little box right there in between the content saying, click here to check out the latest prices or something like that, just to get people over to Amazon or to whatever affiliate product you happen to be promoting at the time. That way you can make a little bit more money with your post rather than just going straight informational. That's creating that hybrid there. Now, the real cool thing about using this hybrid strategy is that it helps to balance out the monetization strategies for your site. So you have a single piece of content. If you're just going to display ads, you could be missing out on an opportunity. By including affiliate links, now you're having one piece of content bringing in multiple streams of income. And then just going back to our first example, capturing emails helps with this too. I use a product called ActiveCampaign to keep track of all of these emails and then send automatic things every time someone subscribes. And I even capture those emails using a product called ConvertBox. If you would like to check out any of those products we just mentioned, just be sure to go link in the description, blogrevolution.com/tools. But it does have a caveat, as well as everything should probably have a caveat. But in this particular situation, you need to understand you need to do this naturally. All right. Try to channel your inner copywriter that's within you. And even though you don't need any formal copywriting training, as you're writing your articles, just be natural. Speak to people how you would like to be spoken to, and just naturally bring it up as if you're offering it to a friend. That's exactly how you should be presenting these products, because by doing that, people are more likely to click on it. And if you include a good call to action, people are going to go through the process and actually buy something with your affiliate links. Just don't go overboard with the affiliate links either. I mean, you don't have to include one every other, sentence. All right. Just do, 3, maybe 4 if that, per episode, per blog post, and then just leave it at that. I have some blog posts where I won't have any type of hybrid on there, and then I have others where I have at least up to 3 to 4 where I'm recommending someone click on a product and then go buy over on Amazon. Just again, don't make it obvious. Imagine that you're just talking to your neighbor and you say, hey, by the way, I just tried this out. You should try it out too. And then include the link right there. There's a quote that says, if you help enough people get what they want in life, then you're going to get what you want in life. So keep that mentality, the whole help, and then ask, and the ask would be to click on this link and go buy something. It's a very go-giver type approach. And if you haven't checked out the Go-Giver book, be sure to check it out. You can download it on Amazon somewhere. But anyways, those are going to be the 3 things I'm going to be doing. Number 1, lead them to gold. Number 2, using the 80-20 approach. And then number 3, creating some hybrid content. Now, everything that we just talked about is very good in principle. I wish I could show you everything that you need to do in order to build a passive income blog right here, right now. However, if you want to learn a little bit more of the process, I want you to go check out a free passive income training I have over at bloggerevolution.com/workshop. That's bloggerevolution.com/workshop. There, I show you exactly step-by-step how I took a website that was making $0 to making a full-time income, relatively quickly. I definitely recommend it. If you have about 30 minutes to an hour a day, this is a perfect training for you, and it's free. So there's no reason why you shouldn't check it out. So bloggerevolution.com/workshop.